The Monday, August the 4th Commissioners meeting to order. And if you'll please bow your head, I'll have the invocation. Dear Lord, our Heavenly Father, we thank Thee for the opportunity to have one more day and hope that you bless this board, committee, and we've got some decisions we got to make tonight that it be done in your will, and you guide and direct us in everything that we do. Please bless our law enforcement, our EMS, our firemen, look after our teachers and the citizens of this county. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Do I have any recommendations to change the agenda?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion that we move item from the consent agenda, item L, up to item number 1 on the regular agenda. And then we also need to add the vehicle tax refunds to the consent agenda. And we can add that back in item L or M, whichever way works best for the board.
And we're moving L to the number 1 spot on the agenda.
Correct.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I'd also like to make a motion that we excuse Commissioner Crump tonight.
I have a motion to excuse Commissioner Crump.
I'll second that, sir.
I have a second. All in favor? Motion passes. All right, first thing on the agenda then will be Sheriff's Office with K-9, is it BECO?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm sorry. Back up. I jumped the gun. The first thing on the agenda will be the approval and adjustment of minutes we just did, and then the public comment. And I have first person on the list is Catherine Hinkle Russell from Elm Street in Baden, supporting veteran appreciation. If she would come forward, speak.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you. Okay.
Thank
Good
you.
evening. Again, my name's Catherine Hinkle Russell. Before I explain why I'm here, I'd like to read a couple of quotes and just a brief synopsis of my related background. Jeff Miller said, "The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude." John F. Kennedy said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciations are not to utter words, but to live by them." I've served veterans and their loved ones over a decade in multiple capacities. My passion to serve is even more fueled now because my son serves in the United States Navy. And when he is one day a veteran, I don't want him to go one day without him being thanked for his service in one way, shape, or form. I'm here because I've started what I'd like to call a movement. I call this movement Gratitude for Veteran Services. And also, I have a Facebook if you'd like to check the Facebook out. I call it a movement because it's not a club or a group or anything like that. I aim to foster a county that acknowledges and demonstrates the significance of expressing appreciation and gratitude to our veterans for their services. It takes little to no money to show veterans appreciation. A thank you for your service and a handshake is a simple act that can go a very long way. What I'm working on currently, and I believe this is one of the things you guys should have in front of you, it's an initiative that was started by Walmart some time back, and I continue to put it out there to the public. It's a cheap and easy way to show your appreciation and to do it year-round. It's called Greenlight a Vet. I mean, you can read more about it with the paper you have. The next thing I'm working on is to bring more people to and to be in the Veterans Day Parade, November 11th and October. Friends of Veterans, a community group I'm in, has been assisting me by promoting and committing to participate in these things that I'm working on. Also, you should have this in front of you to boost attendance at the parade. I've invited Stanley County schools to have their children create a drawing or a painting related to Veterans Day. Each grade level will have a winner, which will be determined by the art teacher. The winner will have their piece displayed in the parade. And also, I'm working on currently asking for volunteers to commit to holding large thank you veterans signs in Albemarle the Saturday before Veterans Day. In the future, I'd like to look at having large type events the Saturday before, but right now, given the time frame, it's just going to be big signs. You all are community leaders and play a vital role in the lives of everyone in our community. With that said, I'm asking each of you to ask yourself how much your freedom is worth. How much is it worth to your family and your friends? The answer is priceless. I'm asking that you embrace this movement, outwardly support it, and promote it today and every day after. Those who served for us and our families are more than deserving. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I have a comment I want to make you aware of. You may be aware of it. Our senior center has a monthly veterans breakfast.
Yep. Yes,
And
sir.
anybody that served in armed forces is invited to come,
Yes,
free
sir.
of charge.
Yes, I love it. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So if you're out there and listening to this, senior center, 9 a.m., I think it's the fourth last Tuesday of each
Tuesday,
month.
yeah. And they usually have a pretty good turnout.
Yeah, probably
So, yeah.
50, 60 people
Yeah.
sometimes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine, how do we get a hold of you if somebody wants to help you with the signs or some other?
Brandon has my cell phone number. Ms. Brummett has my email, and you can message me, private message me on Facebook, on my personal, or the Gratitude for Veterans Services. All-Star may want to be in the parade. That'd be great.
Yeah, we hadn't done a parade in a while.
All right, thank y'all.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now, on the agenda, we have the Sheriff's Department with K-9 BECO representation. I don't have anyone name here to present it. This is be Sheriff Crisco.
Yes, sir. Let's see. First, Mr. Lucas, thank you. Commissioner Barbie, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity. We just want to recognize Sergeant Spivey and K-9 BECO for what we all want to eventually achieve one day is retirement. Well, he's achieved it. Unfortunately, he's had a run-in with a snake. We're not sure if it was a rattlesnake or a copperhead, but he lost. It got him 3 times. So that's one reason I asked y'all if we could go first to let him get back out. But a little history. Sergeant Spivey and K-9 BECO became a team in October of 2018. Sergeant Spivey and BECO attended K-9 Handler School at DNA K-9 in Wignet. After completion of training, BECO was certified through the National Police K-9 Association. BECO was certified in narcotics, training, handler protection, obedience, and area searches. On December 7th, 2018, BECO conducted his first free air sniff on a vehicle, indicating a positive alert for narcotics. Throughout BECO's career, he has recorded many successful free air sniffs, locating over 1,000 grams of narcotics, helping keep the streets of Stanley County safe. Narcotics located varied from methamphetamines, heroin, fentanyl, MDMA, mushrooms, cocaine, and marijuana. BICO had many successful tracks ranging from violent offenders to runaway children and at-risk adults. BICO has protected his partner, Sergeant Spivey, every shift, every off-duty event they've worked, at every situation. BICO has always been one button away. BICO attended many school and daycare programs where he interacted with children, teachers, and other law enforcement officers, and more. BICO has been part of the Stanley County Sheriff's Office Patrol Division for 7 years. In the 7 years, he has assisted all local municipality police departments, Cabarrus County Sheriff's Office, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, DEA, U.S. Marshal's Office, FBI, SBI, Patrol Division, and our Narcotics Division within the Sheriff's Office. BICO's going to enjoy his retirement with Sergeant Spivey, his wife Cassidy, their children, and his best friends, Olivia and Levi. All the fellow canine handlers at the office went together and got a plaque. It says Deputy K-9 BICO retired August 4th, 2025, in recognition of loyal and dedicated service to the citizens of Stanley County and partner David Spivey. Thank you for 7 years of dedicated service. Thanks for you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, you're retired.
You're retired now. So now you get to go home and just relax.
I don't know how much relaxing, but we'll see.
Thank y'all.
Can you tell him hey real quick?
Thank you.
Come on. Thank y'all.
Thank you. That was good. Thank BICO for all his service there. All right, next, we have the Cannon, I'm sorry?
What board needs to take action? You gotta take action to surplus them.
Oh, we gotta take action to surplus?
Yeah. To retirement and surplus them, so.
Okay.
Same- It's on the cover sheet.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like a motion that we, retire K-9 BICO and donate BICO to his handler, Deputy David Spivey.
Okay. I have a motion and a second to, for retirement K-9 BICO and turn him over to his handler, Sergeant Spivey. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Okay, now, have number 2 on the agenda now is the Cannon Foundation grant presentation, and the presenter is Mr. Dale Chandler, EMS Chief. How you doing, Dale?
Good. How are y'all? Thank y'all for allowing me to speak this evening. This first item doesn't require any action from you all. We applied for the Cannon Foundation grant in the amount of $50,140 to procure, it's an FDA-approved scale for our stretchers. We have several medications that we have to give based off of weight. And currently, up until this day and age, it's always been a guesstimation. One thing we found is paramedics are not very good at guessing weight, particularly when we're picking up ladies. We don't want to guess their weight and be wrong. But this is something that over the years has been room for error. when we're administering medications. And a lot of these medications are critical meds that we're giving to these patients, and we want to get it right. So we've requested 11 of these units, one for each one of our ambulances to include our spares. And they'll basically weigh the patient when we put them on the stretcher, and then it actually integrates with some of the software we already use for patient care to help us calculate medication dosages to really reduce those errors. The Cannon Foundation has changed their grant process to where we have to, one, make the county manager aware, which I did when I found this out, and then also we have to present it to the Board of Commissioners so there's no surprises if the grant is awarded and the contract comes down the pipe. So tonight, we're making it official, and I'm telling you that we have applied for the grant. We will find out if it's been awarded, I believe, in October, and then we can go from there as far as expensing the funding. They've already done their first site visit, and we're happy with what they saw as far as the paperwork goes. So I'm optimistic that we'll receive this funding to buy these units. And there really is, we already pay for the software they integrate with. It's our protocol application. So there's no other county dollars that have to be allocated to this except for the grant funding. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. Awesome.
Would you like to continue on with the next
I think I'm up
presentation?
next as well. This item does require some action from you all. Typically, we don't like to make edits to the fee schedules after the budget process. However, there was something that was discovered by our billing staff on some received accounts after the beginning of the fiscal year. No notification was made to us. Our ALS 1 rate, which is currently $815, is actually below some of our contracted insurance rates, so we're billing less than we can collect. So with that being said, we do need to increase that to $854 for that ALS 1 fee. That contracted rate is actually $853.64, which is what the insurance company will be paying us. And keeping in line with all of our other fees, we just made it to the nearest round dollar figure. So that's what we're asking tonight, is to move that ALS 1 fee from $815 to $854, and I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Question,
Yes, sir.
what does ALS stand for?
Advanced life support. So our billing is based off of the services we provide. So if we go out for an injured ankle or something like that, that's BLS, that's basic life support. ALS is something if you have a heart attack and we have to put you on the cardiac monitor, start IVs, give medications, and then from there, the more we do, basically the more we're allowed to bill for that, that service that we provide. Mm-hmm.
Anyone else have anything? All right, I need to see what the pleasure of the board is.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion that we allow the increase for EMS ALS 1 rate to $854.
Okay, I got a second. First, and then second. Okay. Motion made by Commissioner Lawhon, seconded by Commissioner Eford. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Passes 6-0.
Thank you.
Okay, now we have the tax collector's annual settlement for 24-25, and the presenter is Mr. Clinton Swain.
Thank you, Chairman Barbie, members of the board. Happy to be with y'all tonight to go over the fiscal year 24-25 tax collector settlement. Pursuant to GS 105-373, the tax collector must present the annual settlement at the first governing board meeting in August each year. Attached to your information tonight, several PDFs of the financial reports that provide a collection overview of kind of what happened for fiscal year 24-25. The real and personal property collection rate, excluding registered motor vehicles, was 98.23%. The overall collection rate represents another increase, another record high. This is the 5th year in a row we've had a record high collection percentage. Last year's number was 98.22. All the statutory remedies of garnishment, bank attachment, debt set office cheat, foreclosure, they've all been utilized to help collect these taxes. And per the settlement, the government, we'll get to that in a second. So let's go through these sheets one by one. The first attachment you have is the summary report. It basically breaks everything down to each step of the levy and shows the total at the end, collected and uncollected, at 98.23%. The second report you have is the annual audit report as of June 30th. This is a report that is filled out each month and the copy sent to county manager and to Toby in finance. It also shows the 98.23%. The next sheet is the delinquent collections. So not only were we busy collecting 2024 taxes last fiscal year, but we were also busy collecting 10 years of back taxes that were still owed to counties, the municipalities, and the fire districts. So you'll see all those numbers there. I'll draw your attention to the bottom figure that have asterisks beside of it, the 2014 tax year, which is fiscal year 14-15. You'll see on the far right, $50,377.36. That was the amount owing as of June 30th. That amount will roll off on September 1st of this year. Per the statute of limitations, we can't force collect on anything more than 10 years old. So for years and years and years, that number was well above $100,000, and I never thought we'd see it below 60, and now here we are at 50. And to put it in perspective, I know we sit here and $50,000 is a lot of money. But when you go back and run the numbers on the 2014 tax year, we've collected 98.98% of the taxes that were due to Stanley County, the municipalities, and all the fire districts. So in a 10-year time frame, very little taxes escapes from our office. We try to get everything that we can. To break that $50,000 number down a little bit more for you, $31,000 of that was real property, which is dirt, buildings, land. $18,000 was personal property, could be boats, could be business equipment, and then $280 was registered motor vehicles. And why is that amount so low? Well, 2014 was the first year that the state enacted tax and tag. So at that point, you started prepaying your taxes before you could get your tag, which has worked out great. To give you some more information, so that's the 2014 year. We're going to write off $50,000. The 2013 year, we wrote out $63,000. The 2012 year, we wrote off $76,000, and the 2011 year, we wrote off $78,000. So with that good collection rate, we're also increasing what we're collecting on all the old bills also. The next sheet is a summary of 3 different reports that we run to close out the year, and they all should balance perfectly and have the right amount, and they do. You'll see the total uncollected for tax year 2024 was $704,178.26. The next attachment is an affidavit by me saying I've done everything in my power to instruct my staff to collect the taxes. And then finally is the order directing the tax collector to collect the current 2025 taxes. So I know I'm here talking about 24 taxes, but 25 taxes just got mailed out, and we need the order to direct that also. So I respectfully request the board accept and approve the annual settlement report, and then also charge the tax collector with collecting the 25-26 taxes. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that y'all have.
Clint, I have one. Did you say that you cannot collect a debt after 10 years?
That is correct. So once a tax bill is 10 years old, we can keep it on our books, and if somebody voluntarily wants to pay it, we'll definitely take it. But I can't garnish their wages. I can't attach their bank account. I can't foreclose. All the collection remedies are gone. So that's why, and that's a state law. That's nothing that you guys can control. But yes, that's true.
Clinton, I appreciate you and your staff, what you do. Question about the real property.
Yes, sir.
You said $30-some thousand. How many parcels is that?
It's not many. I say it's not. It actually is several parcels, but they're very, very low value. What we run into with the real property and collecting that money is, if I had unlimited funds to go after it, I could. But at what point do you say, let's spend $1,100 on foreclosures to collect $500? So at that point, it just doesn't make sense, especially when there's people that still owe more money than that out there. But yes, if I had unlimited funds and collection remedies, then we could get all of it, because we'd have to foreclose on it. A lot of that is air property, that's very low value, and probably 30 heirs to most of them that's out there, just because nothing was ever taken care of through probate and the state's office. So, and then the personal property is extremely hard to collect, because if somebody goes out of business, if they list their equipment in January and then they go out of business in April, and then I don't send the tax bill until July and August like we have to, they've likely already sold all that equipment, and who knows where it's at, and then I can't levy against it. I can't go take the equipment or take it to pay taxes. So personal property is a lot harder to collect on once they're out of business or if the equipment's gone.
I know from time to time we do foreclose for
Yes.
taxes. Do we have any properties that are in process of being foreclosed
So
on?
yes, so I've got a list right now that's got, I think there's 40 on there. And I never get with Connie in July. Connie Josie's our foreclosure attorney that we contract with to do our foreclosures at First Street Legal. I never get with her in July because I'm so busy getting the tax bills created. And then August, I'm so busy getting everything collected for this discount period from citizens and mortgage companies. But then in September, we always meet with her and give her a list of what we want her to accomplish. And obviously, we go with the top dollar amount first. But we did from 7/1 of 24 until June 30th of 25, we collected $67,573 through the foreclosure process, and we only paid Connie $3,200. So we're definitely getting our money's worth when we go that route. Other questions I can answer for you?
Everybody good? Good. What's the pleasure of the board? We need to make a motion to,
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion we accept and approve the annual settlement report and also charge the tax collector with collecting the fiscal year 2025, 2026 taxes.
got a motion?
I'll second that.
Second, Commissioner Mills. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you, Board.
Thanks for my postcard the other day. I certainly appreciate it.
Next, we have a rezoning request by Mr. Daniel Griffin, and presenter is Bailey Klein, our planning director.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that I recuse myself from CR 25-04.
Okay, I have a request. We'll have need to take a second on that, or to,
I make a motion that we approve it.
okay, got a motion to approve it? Second? Motion from Commissioner Lawhon, and second from Vice Chair King. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 5-0. All right, now, go ahead, Bailey.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, thank you for having me. The item that I have before you tonight is CR 25-04. This is a request by Daniel Griffin for the conditional rezoning of an approximately 4-acre portion of a 34.2-acre tract located on Griffin Green Boulevard in order to accommodate for his landscape and hardscape contracting business. And I'll go ahead and move to the next slide so you can see a aerial view of the property. Mr. Griffin currently operates this business on an adjoining parcel, but unforeseen family is switching hands and things are changing, and so now he's asking for a 4-acre portion of the adjoining property to be rezoned. Mr. Griffin has spoken with building inspections as well as environmental health, and he is aware of further requirements that he will have to meet. The property does lie in a secondary growth area per the 2040 Stanley County Land Use Plan. The land use plan in the secondary growth area is designated for community types such as community centers and industrial, including M1, which is light manufacturing, M2, which is heavy manufacturing, and GB, which is general business. This conditional rezoning will restrict the use of this portion of the property to only be used for the contracting office. In order for any other use to operate on this portion of the property, the applicant would have to come back before the board and ask that it be added. I'm going to move to this next slide so you can kind of see the site plan. You all received this in your packets, but this is just more of a zoomed-in version. So this is the 4-acre area that he's asking for to be rezoned. It does meet the road frontage requirement of 35 feet. An apron is what he has proposed here, and then there will just be access back to this area. He doesn't plan to really remove much vegetation besides where he has to. He doesn't want it to be seen from the road, and no signage as well, so he really doesn't want anyone to know that he's back there. It's mainly where his employees will be able to come, store his equipment, gather materials, and go out to jobs. There is a material storage area on here, but this is just open storage of materials. It's not an enclosed structure at the moment. This is where the building is proposed to go, and then the septic area will be here. And once I move to the conditions, I will get a little further in what all this is going to entail. The requested area lies approximately 1.4 miles from the town of Stanfield, approximately 1.6 miles from the town of Oakboro, and approximately 2.6 miles from the town of Red Cross. The structures in relation to the business will not be viewed from the road, as the existing vegetation will remain as a buffer. Mr. Griffin has agreed upon the list of conditions which you all have received, and if approved, Mr. Griffin does plan to subdivide this portion of the property out from the remaining 34 acres. There was an adjoining property owner present at the planning board meeting who expressed concerns about the location of the business in relation to where their home will be located in the future. They were also concerned about what kind of materials will be stored at this location and if contamination will happen in any way. Mr. Griffin did respond to this community member and express that they will be storing materials such as rock and stone, but that this will not in any way, contaminate the area. And they hope to just keep inventory for job sites. Mr. Griffin also expressed that he hopes for this office to serve as just a meeting spot for his employees and to gather materials. Per the NCDOT traffic count from 2023, Griffin Green Boulevard sees approximately 1,000 vehicles per day. All neighbors within 100 feet of the affected area were notified, and a sign was posted at the property. As the Board of County Commissioners, you have the ability to amend any of these conditions. And I will move on to the rest of the maps and the conditions. So this is showing you here Stanfield, Red Cross, and Oakboro. So he's kind of right in the middle. This is the affected parcel. It's a very faint line, but this is in blue. This is where he is. So he's kind of in smack dab in the middle. And as I stated previously, this is in a secondary growth area per the land use plan. These are the current conditions for the rezoning request. So the use of the property will be limited to the operation of the landscape and hardscape business. The buildings will not exceed 3,000 square feet each. The buildings will be at least 75 feet from all property lines. All landscaping motorized equipment must be stored in a centralized area on the property with an existing 10-foot vegetative buffer. All other materials, such as plants and landscaping rock, will be hidden by the above-mentioned 10-foot existing buffer. Hours of operation will be 7 to 5, Monday through Friday. There will be one parking space per 400 square feet of the building. All outdoor lighting will be cut-off style fixtures. The property will be limited to 2 buildings in relation to the landscaping business. There shall be 1 entrance exit off of Griffin Green, and there shall be no signage in relation to the business. As of now, Mr. Griffin only plans to build just the 1 building for the contracting office. The second one is in there maybe in the future if that ever does happen and he wants to build another one, but as of now his plan is just to stick with the 1. And I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have for me.
Anyone have any questions, baby? We need to open up a public hearing on this. So I'll open a public hearing on a rezoning request by Mr. Daniel Griffin. And I welcome anyone to speak for or against it to please come forward and state your name.
Good evening, Commissioner Barbie and the rest of the commissioners. I'm Daniel Griffin, the owner of Island Creek Landscape. And as much as anything, just wanted to add a couple of points to what Bailey said. She did an excellent job kind of covering all the information that we've been working on over the last month or so. But the main thing is not a storefront. The customers do not come to our shop. It's strictly for myself, employees to come. Basically, our trucks and equipment are parked there. We come in, load up in the morning. We're there for about 45 minutes to an hour in the mornings, and then we leave. You have 3 to 4 trucks leaving in the morning, and then we come back again about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoons. So it's not a constant flow of traffic, customers, or deliveries, that sort of thing all day long. So it's pretty low impact as far as that goes. And as she mentioned, there's not going to be any signage. I really don't want anybody to know I'm back there for obvious reasons with the amount of equipment and trucks and things that we have back there. I want to be pretty secluded. I've worked hard to make sure that, minimal impact to no impact on the surrounding areas. Pretty much all the land around is family land. So, I'm very, very cognizant of not, stepping on toes or, like I say, making minimal impact. So, as much as anything, like I said, she covered everything well. I came for any questions, welcome any questions or concerns about it.
I think everyone's happy.
Okay. Easy enough. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak for or against rezoning? Seeing none, I'm going to close the hearing. And what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Barbie, I'd like to make a motion that we approve the request by Daniel Griffin on the general business conditional rezoning of approximately 4 acres. And that's out of 34.2 acre tract. And that's off of Griffin Green Boulevard in order to accommodate the landscape and his contract business.
Okay, I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Hatley. All in favor? All against? Motion passes 5-0. Next, we have a minimum housing code demolition request for Willie Road, and the presenter is Mr. Michael Williams.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Let me.
Should be at the top. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So what we're requesting this evening is for an ordinance adopting to declare a dwelling unfit for human habitation. I think you're all aware of the property. I think you know the history. The property is located at 49122 Willie Road in Richfield. The property is in violation of the minimum housing ordinance, and you'll see a few photos here shortly. But this has been going on since January of 23 when an official complaint came about. And my predecessor, Tim Swearingen, had worked this case until I assumed responsibility in March of 25 of this year. With the structure, there's no way that it could be repaired, because it would cost way more to repair it than it's worth. So the only recourse is to demolish and remove the dwelling. So the timeline is, like I said, I assumed responsibility of this case on 31 March. The initial inspection of the dwelling was completed back in March of 23. And in this time, I know it's been a couple of years, but we have no less than 10 certified letters that was mailed to the property owners. There was a hearing that the property owners and the then resident of the mobile home attended. and nothing has been done. And like I said, the determination to repair it is well in excess of 50% of the dwelling value. And the hearing was attended on April the 18th, like I said, by the representative of the owners and the then resident. And to this point, there's been really nothing done. In fact, it's a bit worse than it was. I had reports just last week to where homeless people's kind of congregating in the woods behind it, been throwing glass out in the road and throwing rocks at cars going by, and it's really a mess. So some of the main areas that Tim had discovered when he initially inspected the place was the lack of permanent source of heat, electrical wiring, just hanging loose, plumbing. There's extensive holes in the floor, decay, and just unsanitary conditions throughout the mobile home. Here's just a couple of pictures. This was as of last week. You can see it's grown up. There's 4 inoperable vehicles around there. You can barely see the mobile home in the background. And here's just a few samples of the photos of the condition of the inside and outside the mobile home. And so what the zoning and planning department is recommending that the commissioners authorize the demolition and removal of the dwelling. So assuming that you approve it, the next step would be for me to get bids from qualified contractors here within the county, and remove the dilapidated structure. And I would manage the demolition and removal from there. Any questions of me?
I have one. I think I'd like to start with the person that we're evicting. Do they have any place to go?
I don't know, to be honest. But from my understanding, the person is not living in the dwelling. They're living in tents and all behind it. That's my understanding. This has been going on for a couple of years. There's been a lot of conversation with the tenant, and I know Mr. Hatley's here, and I think he's going to speak too, and he can answer specific questions.
My question, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Williams, who owns the property now?
It is owned by the heirs of the deceased. So the heirs are three children. One lives in New York, 2 lives here. But there's honestly been no interest in the property.
Have they been notified of
Oh, yes, sir.
issues and?
Yes, sir.
What kind of response are you getting?
Nothing.
And I guess you notified them via mail or?
There's no less than 10 certified letters in this file here that they've received over the past 2 years.
So they did sign for the letters?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the initial hearing back in April of '23, they attended that as well.
Just no response from these folks about?
No response or no action.
Does this home have a well or what, city water?
I'm not sure, without going back to my notes.
I believe there's a well and septic on the property.
Okay, well and septic.
Okay.
Where exactly is Willie Road in Richfield? I have no idea.
It is just north of Highway 49. It's within, what, a half a mile from Rowan County, on the north end of the county. Yes.
Residential area around it?
Yes, sir.
You said there were tents in the back. Is there acreage, or is it just a lot, or?
It is a lot, but it's all grown up, overgrown. There's a structure in there. At one time, from what I understand, the then resident was renting out a shed for people to live in. Like a little outdoor shed where they had run power from the trailer to this shed. And fast forward to July or August of '25, it's like the people that are around there comes and goes, but they're congregating in the woods there behind the mobile home.
So they only own just the lot, they don't own acreage?
None of the owners are on property.
Right, I understand that.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out how much land is there. I mean, if you,
3.3
Okay.
acres. There we go.
so what's going to prevent the ones that's living back in the woods from continuing to live back in the woods?
There's nothing. But for our perspective is to get rid of the mobile home.
Usually you have to have water, or somebody has to haul it in, so, or electricity, hopefully, that's why I was asking about the water, is the water, if they're there, there's going to have to be water somehow, and probably some type of electricity, so I guess if you demolish this, that should, it should cure the problem of having homeless that would be back in the woods back behind there.
Should.
Okay.
Yes, should.
That's what,
That's the goal. So assuming the board approves this, then one of the next steps is to verify that the electricity is cut off there. Verify. I'm sure it is, but I would want to verify that.
Mr. Hatley, when he speaks, he can answer all these questions. He lives adjacent to the property.
Yes.
It is his mother's property, was his mother's property.
It was his son's property.
I got one question, financial type. Don't know what it's gonna cost yet to remove all this stuff.
Mr. Chairman, we being the planning board, we do have this in our budget to remove this.
But it's taxpayer money, right?
It is taxpayer money.
What if we
and-
don't get enough out of the property or a lien to cover our expenses?
You're right, it is a taxpayer money, and believe me, I'm very mindful of that. Matter of fact, I was talking with Bailey earlier, and what we would like to do is to, my first step would be to speak with the tax folks here for the county to see if we can recoup that money. And honestly, I don't know. I'm too new in the job to give you, a firm answer right now, but that's my intent.
Well, you'll lien the property for what the demolition cost.
That's the plan,
And then
yes.
if they don't pay it, if they ever want to put something back on there, they would have to pay that cost in order to get a building permit to put something back on that property.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But to go further, I would like to, my plan is to seek this more forcefully.
Question, do we know if they're current on their taxes? They are current?
I don't know, sir.
I just looked it up while I was sitting here, so they owe only the 2025 bill.
Okay.
They paid the 2024 bill in February of this year, so there's nothing my office could do to them to collect taxes because they're current.
What's that
Do
assessed
we-
value? I'm sorry.
Do we know,
51,000.
all right, do we know if they paid the taxes in February? Who paid them? Do we know the
I
person?
can't see that from my phone. I'd have to get into the tax software, and I can tell if it was paid by check, cash, credit card, whatever. But I can only hear what the public can see.
I would love to know who paid them. And the second part of that, I would like to know, has that person been communicated with?
Yeah, we've had liens before on properties like this. What I never want to see is spending $20,000 to tear a house down when the lot's worth 5 or 10. But we've got a tax value of $51,000 on this 3.33 acres, and it's valuable because it's got the well and septic on it. Because if this is gone, somebody could potentially pull another mobile home in or build a house, and then that cost is already there for the home site, so.
I know when we did the Tom Road ones, you're looking at a couple $1,000s to remove the mobile homes. That's about.
I think when we did the Tom Road property, there was 8 mobile homes that got removed, and I think we ended up paying somewhere around 12, maybe 13 for all of those. So, obviously in relation to this, we don't have a definite answer for what it would cost. We would just have to get bids in and take, the best one. But as far as doing multiple, I can tell you that it was around 12,000 to get those removed. And there's, yeah, for 8.
They were a lot smaller. You probably like 3,500 blocks. You probably 3,500.
I think we're going to have a public hearing now and see where it goes.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael, appreciate that.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to open a public hearing on I don't have the case number handy, do I? On the minimum housing code demolition, Wiley Road. And the first person I have on my list to speak, to open the hearing, is a Mr. Winford Hatley, if he'd like to come forward and speak.
Well, I'm quite familiar with the property down there. It's on the corner of Spivey and Willie, and is around 3.27, about 3.2 acres. On there is a mobile home, and matter of fact, one of the deputies was here a while ago that has been there many times, and his observation of it was when you stand in one end of it inside, you see the ground completely to the other end. There's no underpinning under it. There's not been a heating system for a long time. And then you have a couple structures out back. One might be like a little 6x8. Another one might be 10 by 15. They're all but fell in. And there's where the homeless people were staying. The lady that stays there, my understanding, she has a house and land in South Carolina. When the leaves are off the trees, if you walk close to the property line, I would say there's probably knee deep of household garbage under a carport. I would say it would be almost 2 dump truck loads of household garbage. I'm speaking on behalf of 5 other neighbors. They've all had problems. Once in a while, when the homeless people move in down there, they stay in the woods. Nobody stays in the dwellings because it's unlivable. I really don't even know if there's electricity there or if the water's actually on. There is a well on the place. But in the past, our neighbors had a lot of different things put in their mailboxes, a lot of broken glass, cooking oil, stuff of that nature. We had one man that was there, he's 78 years old, he's had his back fused together several times, he has one arm. They accused him of going to their house and stealing one of those bumpers off an old car. So they harassed him for a long time. We need something done. but I'm speaking on behalf of about 5 neighbors right there. It's a lot of it's structures in there. It's completely full of garbage. Where they use the restroom, I don't know. I imagine, but there's nobody staying on the inside. They're staying in the brush out there. So maybe y'all can take that in consideration. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You may want to tell them you're the grandfather of the heirs.
Oh, by the way, I am the grandfather of the heirs, and we have spoke to them about maybe you all, if y'all want to sell it, and they have thought about that at times, but then we've heard nothing or whatever, so, so we're well aware of what's going on right there.
One thing I had on my mind, I forgot to ask earlier, if we remove the mobile home and the garbage and stuff there, what is to remove the people that's living in the woods? How are we going to get rid of them?
That's a good question. If there's no woods or no brush, there's enough structures that if you was to try to move the structures, you're probably going to move the brush too. Because there's several cars out back that you hadn't seen, that the trees grew up around. If it's cleared off, I think it would be a discouragement from anyone staying there. Because you have about 3 neighbors that can see that spot. I think it would be discouraging.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else that wants to speak for or against the condemnation? Demolition? All right, seeing nobody else, we're going to close the hearing. And I seek information from the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we adopt an ordinance to demolish and remove the mobile home.
Yeah, I have a motion.
I'll second.
I have a second. And,
Question.
go ahead.
Let's say we withdraw the motion. Could this be brought back to our next meeting? And the reason I'm asking that, somebody paid taxes on it. That person might be willing to save the property, because, am I correct in they will still own the property? We'll just have a lien against it, correct?
That's correct.
But, I'd like to know if they're willing to pay what it's going to cost to have it removed before we remove it, or before we vote on it.
I like that idea too.
That's my question. Can it be brought at the next commissioners, brought back?
I think because you closed the public hearing, and Jenny certainly can weigh in this, I think because you closed the public hearing, you can bring it back up, but you would have to do another public hearing again. So we'd have to advertise for that in the paper again. So there obviously is a cost to that, but you could bring it back again. I guess if we got the information to you for the September, prior to the September meeting, you could be on your September meeting agenda. We just have to meet the notice requirements for the paper, but since we don't meet again, you don't meet again until September, I would think that wouldn't be a challenge, but you would, if it comes back up, if you bring it, you don't take any action, you basically want to delay a decision, you will have to do another public hearing because you closed the public hearing. And since you're bringing it back, you'll have to do another public hearing. Jenny, correct me if I'm wrong,
I think that would be the most conservative approach, Mr. Chairman. And our planning director or officer may be able to shed light as to whether or not the heirs, if they have any information as to where the heirs have expressed any interest in the past in remedying the problem.
I'm shocked that they paid the taxes.
I am too.
Well, Bill, I think that they want to keep the land. They obviously don't care about the structure, or they've had years to start some type of process to fix it.
Well, I
I'd
guess
love
where
to see
I'm
this.
concerned is, if they want to keep the land, they can keep the land. And if we have it removed and it costs us $2,000, then we're out $2,000. I mean, what avenue do we have to collect that money?
just the lien on the property, and
And the lien won't mean anything, because if he don't sell the property,
Well, eventually it'll sell, I mean, but you could be 5 years from now, or 2 years from now, or 30 years from now, or 100 years from now before it sells and you get your money, so.
But if they do something with that property, put another mobile home on it or something like that, to get a building permit, they have to pay that lien.
Correct. That's correct.
That's correct.
I mean, yeah, it could stay vacant for now on, and they wouldn't have to do anything, but if they do anything to that property, which I would assume that they would, since it's 3-something acres and a well and a septic. I mean, the property is where the tax value is, it's not the mobile home, and maybe they don't want to pay the $2,000 to clean it up.
Jenny? I can't imagine it. Jenny?
Yes, sir.
Is there any liability on the county if we, since this has been going on for years, and we're just now acting, if something bad would happen, is there any liability to the county if we don't condemn and try to correct this problem?
I would say the best way to answer that would be, someone could always argue that we're liable, and we would definitely argue that we're not. So, and if I believe if the owners of the property would reach out to the sheriff's office, and Chief Deputy Thompson is here, he could address this, but if the owners of the property would give authority or make a request to the sheriff's office to remove the homeless people, I think the sheriff's office could remove those people from the property. If the issue is the people and not so much the dwelling. But as far as liability, Commissioner Hatley, there's always arguments both ways, but we would definitely argue that we're not liable.
I do have a question for Mike again. There's 3.3 acres there, but the mobile home and stuff is only on a small portion of that. And if everybody's living up in the woods, though, I don't see why we should have to pay to go in there and clear the woods out so people can see it. I mean, we're just to remove the articles. And so my question is are we going to gain anything by it? And not go in a hole spending a bunch of taxpayers' dollars?
Well, that's one of those things that, speculation, I can't answer it, but I do think we can recoup our money, whatever we spend, like $2,500, $3,000, whatever it is. Like Commissioner Eford was saying, we could put a lien on that to where any future building or whatever, these would have to be paid prior to getting any permits.
I guess what I'm getting at is do we have a responsibility to clean the woods out too?
No.
Well,
We would only put out the
just-
bid tearing down the structure.
Just a dwelling, right.
You'll have to clear out what you have to clear out to get the stuff out, but you're not clearing up the lot.
No. And the question about the liability, now this is only my opinion, but again, I have letters here from the heirs where, it goes unanswered. Documentation going back 2 years. With the initial notice of violation back in '23, so it's all documented.
You have to have electricity to run a well. And somebody's paying the light bill on that property. Somebody's paying electricity. There's an account that's got
I was out there last week, and I didn't see any indication of anyone being there or electricity.
So how do they get water?
I can't answer that. I don't know. And like I said earlier, any correspondence, calls, anything with the heirs goes unanswered. I've been out there at least 3 or 4 times, just kind of riding by there. And the only time I've seen any evidence of anyone being around there, there were some clothes hanging on a fence. And that was, because I was hoping to try to catch somebody there, so I could swing in and talk to somebody, but I've never been able to. And that's not the only case I've got going on, so it's,
Well, I appreciate the info. I think there's an issue that sheriff should take up too on that. And I think if that issue was taken care of, maybe some of the other would go away.
I've talked with Detective Middlebrook as recently as, 2 weeks ago? And they are aware of the property at Willie Road and been out there several times. I don't know, sir.
Okay, not that I don't think it needs to be done, I just got issues with it. So I'm gonna call for a vote.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question of
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Hatley that spoke just a minute ago. I believe, if I heard you correctly, you said that the 3 owners are your grandchildren?
Yes, one lives in New York.
Do you have phone numbers to reach those grandchildren?
I have the 2 of them. One's underage. I think he lives with his aunt, but I have the numbers of the 2. I've contacted them several times and talked to them about the property and stuff, but I don't think they have any future plans. They each one said one time they would each build a house down there. But like I say, one's got a life in New York. One, I think, lives with his girlfriend's parents in Albemarle. We've
One is local?
I'm sorry, to what?
One of the owners?
One owner's local, one's underage, he's only like 15,
The one that's older, of age?
Lives in New York. The oldest one lives in New York.
All right, the next to the oldest, what age are they?
He's probably like 21.
And he lives here?
Yes.
I do think it needs to be taken care of, but I do think that we need to try, this is my opinion, we need to try to be in touch with them by phone, to set up a meeting or by phone, because if they're not gonna pay the county back, yeah, we can put a lien on it, but it,
Well, I'm sure that piece of property would sell.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it would too, but.
And I know that we've, have a date of 2023. This has been going on for years.
Andy, what would it cost to advertise this again for next meeting?
I don't know, it's a couple, $400 or $500 probably. Somewhere between 350 and 500 probably, Bill, is what this Stanley Journal charges.
Are those charges accumulating against the property owner?
No, that's just part of the budget. We have to pay for.
So we don't recoup those charges?
No, not in that instance. There are some charges we do for taxes that we do for the now, but most of our public notices are not recouped in any form or fashion.
Mr. Hatley, are your grandchildren, are they on speaking terms?
Yes.
Do you have any interest in the land?
Yes, our family, my younger son would be interested in it, or I would too. We'd like to keep it in the family.
Would you want to purchase it?
Yes, I would purchase it.
Will they sell it to you?
Well, that's, we've asked that question for 2 years. Me and my younger son have asked that question, and once one grandchild says, well, we'll talk to the other ones, see what they think, but they never get back with us. And, we didn't want to push the issue and that kind of thing, but we did want to make a change down there. So, the last time, I think the one from New York come up to my house probably 2 months ago and was talking about selling it then. He's going to talk to his other brothers about it. Now, the one underage will probably have to get an attorney to act as a legal guardian or something to do this. But there's just no progress in that part either.
Can I ask Travis that? Travis, what do you think it costs to tear it down? You're a contractor.
That's what I was saying. The ones on Tom Road were much smaller and they were condensed. That's the reason the unit prices were down. I think with the two outbuildings, the multiple vehicles, the fact you got to clear vegetation to actually get to it, foreground.
And the vehicles would probably bring $500 a piece at salvage yard or,
Maybe.
For scrap.
Yeah.
Michael, you had all three of the owners in a meeting 2 years ago?
Yes.
It was not done in
No. And the owners and the person that was then living there, the Liz Edwards, she is the mother of the heirs. So yes, there's documented going back 2 years where communication has been or has tried to be with the heirs. And honestly, we're at the end of the rope now. Yes, sir.
Just don't understand why the heirs are not responding. Didn't make sense.
Agree.
Two of them are, one's 15, the other one's barely 21, so they're not.
Clint, do you have the name on who paid the taxes? Or do we ask that? Do you have the name?
So I will only have a name if they paid by check or they paid cash.
Okay.
But I can't see that from my phone. I
Right.
can only see that on the tax software at the office. So
Okay.
I'll be happy to get that information tomorrow, but I just don't have it right now. But now, if they paid by credit card or they paid online with PayPal, I won't know who paid it.
All right, we're going to call a question. We're going to have to vote on this. All in favor of demolition and all of the property on Wiley Road, the address, gosh, I done lost it.
49122.
24122.
49122.
49122 Wiley Road. All in favor of demolition and eviction of the tenants, say aye.
Mr. Chairman, I would request that we raise hands.
We'll do that. By show of hands, all those in favor of demolition and eviction, raise your right hand. We got 4 for it. All opposed? 2, so passes 4-2. Next on the agenda is the appointment of plat review officers, and the presenter is Ms. Bailey Klein.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, the last item I have for you is the appointment of plat review officers. The county commissioners are responsible for designating plat review officers for the county. The plat review officers are required to review most plats and maps which gets filed at the Register of Deeds. This is to check that all components are included by the surveyor. At present, Paul Reynolds, Bailey Klein, Dane Henson, and Matthew Bolin are the plat review officers. As of now, I'm asking Hunter Rogers and Michael Williams, which were recently staffed by the Planning and Zoning Department and have received and participated in the plat review officer workshops and training by the Secretary of State Land Record staff be added to that list. This allows the staff to further provide good and efficient customer service, especially if one or more plat review officers are away from their desk. Statute requires that this be adopted as a resolution, which is to be filed with the Register of Deeds. And in front of you, on the slides, I have a list of those that are current officers.
Okay, I have the resolution by Ms. Klein. Do I have any comments from the board? Do I have any recommendations for the board?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we add Hunter Rogers and Michael Williams to the plat review officer appointments.
I have a motion, and have a motion by Vice Chair King and a second by Commissioner Attlee. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you.
Next off is the Richfield Sewer Improvement, North Carolina DEQ Grant Project. Presenter Andy Lucas.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. This was the item we actually, there's some substitute documentation that we gave you back in the work session, the updated resolution for the tentative award for the subcontractors and for the, to utilize Gopher given that they're as a sole source for their software to align with our existing software that we have for our SCADA system. This is a DEQ grant that we've been working on, gosh, for probably for close to 3 years now, trying to get it approved. We had some issues with DEQ back when it was approved, just after COVID, trying to get a hold of folks at the state level. Needless to say, by the time we did get correspondence with the folks at DEQ, bids had gone up. It was a lot more than what the grant was of $1.2 million, so we had to sort of back up and punt and figure out how we were going to make the improvements to the pump stations and install the SCADA system up there. Right now, our staff are having to go up there every day and check those pumps to Richfield. It's not on our SCADA system that we can monitor remotely, and so this would allow us to do that. So anyway, we got this $1.2 million grant, then the prices went up, and so we decided to back up and punt, and we proposed to DEQ that we would essentially become the general contractor, and we'd subcontract all the work out, and that DEQ's not used to that, so then that took them, it's been over a year and a half, trying to figure out how we can get them straight so that we could get this done. So this action this evening will allow me to sign off on all the paperwork that we got to get to DEQ. And we've just updated, the reason you got an updated version is we just updated these prices from the subcontractors this afternoon to make sure that those numbers will hold until DEQ can sign off on this, so we don't get sideways with that. So you have this evening, you've got a tentative award with the subcontractors, the resolution for that, and the resolution to use Gopher as the sole source, given that they are the entity that does our SCADA system. So we want to make sure that we're keep everything consistent. So those are the two action items, those two resolutions that are before you this evening. The total amount with the subcontractors is about $761,000. Obviously, there's engineering with Wooten that's part of the cost. And so altogether, I think it still comes in under the it's a little 1.19, I believe, of the 1.2 grant. So we'll be able to do the project and the scope of the project for the grant money. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions of Andy Lucas? Hearing none, what's the pleasure of the board?
Chairman, I would make a motion that we approve of the North Carolina DEQ Tentative Award Grant Project Resolution which would be the sole source resolution.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Lawhon, second by Commissioner Hatley. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0. Okay, now I have the CDBG Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Lucas.
Yeah, thank you. We got some additional money from the state, from the Department of Commerce for our CDBG revitalization program grant. We currently have 3 houses that are under construction. This is a low-income housing grant for low-income elderly residents in our county. We got an additional $209,844 that we'll use towards the project. We're hopeful that will allow us to get the 5 done that we initially had planned. We got this money in 2000 during COVID, and it took forever to get Commerce rolling because they were working remotely, and it was just it's been painstaking. But we got there. We've got houses under construction. We're hopeful that will allow us to do all 5 that we initially had planned with the $750,000 we got. But obviously, between 2000 and now, the bids have gone way up. So this additional money will hopefully allow us to do those 5 that we initially planned to do. So the board just needs to, by resolution, recognize and accept these funds. I'll be happy to answer any other questions you may have.
Questions? And we need to have a public hearing on this also?
Yep, you do have to hold a public hearing.
Open the public hearing for the CDBG Neighborhood Revitalization Grant Program. Do I have anyone here to speak for or against? Seeing no one, I'll close the hearing. And what is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the resolution to amend the county CDBG Neighborhood Revitalization Project.
Got a motion from Vice Chair King,
I'll second that.
and a second from Commissioner Mills. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
We have the, next on the agenda is the North Carolina Association of County Commissioners Annual Conference, leading a voting delegate. And the presenter is Mr. Andy Lucas.
Yes, that's for the county association's annual conference. Typically, there's a voting delegate from each county at that conference. There have been times in the past where we haven't had representation just because commissioners weren't able to attend. I know that from some conversation in the work session, that may be the case this year, that y'all have conflicts or other things going on, and that's that conference, and I guess it's mid-August, is some of you, I don't know if we're gonna be able to have attendance at it. Typically, what they're voting on is the officers for the county association, so, obviously the county association likes for every county to be there and have representation, but, it's not the end of the world either, so.
Do we have any commissioners that would be able to attend?
It's in Greenville, North Carolina. It'll be that vote will be on a Saturday.
At the present time, it doesn't look like we have anyone available.
Understood. And that's all I have, sir.
Okay, next on the agenda is the consent agenda. And as everyone had a chance to look it over, and
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we adopt the consent agenda as presented, sir.
I have a motion by Commissioner Efrem.
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Chairman Barbie, if the board could readdress the minimum housing violation ordinance again before adjournment, I believe a date needs to be adopted that where you specify how long the heirs have before the county takes action to demolish the home. And speaking with Bailey and looking at prior demolitions, I believe the house, the minimum would be 90 days. So just wanted to bring that to the board's attention. We would need to set that time frame for the heirs to take action prior to county action on demolition. We just wanted to bring that to your attention, just so if we could address that before adjournment.
Do I need to do that since I made the motion? Or does it matter?
I don't know that it necessarily matters. You are more than welcome to do so, and you're welcome to go ahead and proceed with the consent agenda action. I just wanted to make sure we address the dates of the minimum housing ordinance before adjournment. Thank you.
And I'll second the motion on consent.
All in favor of approval of consent agenda, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for the minimum housing code, the demolishing of Willie Road, that we put a 90-day notice on that, which would be November 4th.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's a motion. Do I have a second? Second from Commissioner Hatley. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries 6-0.
Clinton, if you have that information, could you shoot it over to us?
I'll email all of you tomorrow.
Thank you. Don't send me no postcard, I'm good.
Okay. All right, that brings us up to board comments and announcements, committee reports. Start off with Commissioner Hatley. Vice Chair King. Commissioner Mills.
School starts at the end of this week and next week. The kids are going to go back. I want to highlight this. A back-to-school bash is going to be at the Old Calvary Baptist Church down in Porter. So if you're in need of school equipment or anything associated with school, they're going to be giving away free school supplies. And again, that is at the Legacy Dream Center, which is the Old Calvary Baptist Church, right after you pass Porter, close to Henry's Barber Shop across the road. Anyone needing school supplies, it'll be a great opportunity for you. Thank you.
Commissioner Laha.
With what Billy said about school starting back, I'm going to ask that all the people that drive, please be on the watch out for these students. Don't go around the bus that's got its arm out, because you could kill someone. And so that's all I wanted to relay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. As we all know, time flies. Time goes by quick, and it even goes by quicker when you spend the time with somebody you really enjoy. So I just want to tell my wife happy anniversary. 46 years, we made it.
I just want to thank everyone.
Bless
for coming
you,
out
Tracy.
And putting up with us today. It's been a kind of a hectic meeting, so thanks, everyone, and we'll adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second? All in favor? Aye.